You have kids, right?
Without a question.
Son, daughter?
2 sons.
2 sons.
Yeah.
So you have 2 African-American sons.
Definitely.
How old?
12 and 7.
12 and 7. So your oldest son is almost a teenager.
Almost, yep. It's
Pretty
crazy.
soon, he's going to be driving a car.
Yep.
He's going to get his learner's permit and then his actual license. Do you ever sit down with your sons and say, listen, when you deal with police, do X, Y, and Z? I know you may not want to. I know your pride is going to tell you otherwise, but you have a higher chance of dying unless you go through these actions that I'm about to tell you.
Nah, because I don't feel as though a cop got really like control over my son's life. I mean, like I believe in God heavy, and God already got control over my life, my son's life, and he determined when they gonna live and die. So it's like I don't feel like a cop can just take my son's life if God don't allow it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like, but I do talk to them like my sons probably done got pulled over. I done got pulled over or dealt with the cops, and my sons was in the car. You know what I mean? And I had conversations with them. They done seen how the cops acted or did things, and we done had conversations like after we pulled off about it. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they familiar with certain things, but I don't get into too much detail with them like that because they still kind of young, and like in the environment they in, they don't really deal with the cops as much. You know what I'm saying? As if you was like in a different type of environment, and they still young, so they might not be dealing with the cops as much. But they know the basic rules and guidelines that you would have to use if you ever was to deal with the cops at their age. Like, they don't know all the rules about how to deal with the cops if you get an investigation and what they're going to ask you and how you got to say and what to do. I ain't break down all of that because that's like too advanced for them, and I doubt they ever be dealing with that until they get older. But in the meantime, in between time, they might get harassed or asked. A cop might, you know what I mean, approach them, and they know the basic stuff like how to deal with cops. And they got super common sense and they smart, so they really know how to swag it on their own anyway. From hearing conversation and stories that me and they mom, they grandparents, everybody tell them.
Well, but here's the reality though, and this is something that Boosie talked about, which makes a lot of sense in terms of what I've seen in my life, is that
the way they approach the car is different. You know, a white person is gonna approach the car for teenage white girls differently than approaching the car for teenage black boys with dreads in their head. He's gonna approach that car, the first car, and I'm not racist at all. I love my white people, I love my white women. I'm not racist at all, but he's gonna approach that car asking for identification. He's gonna approach that car with those 4 teenagers with those dreads in their head, with his gun drawn, telling the driver to get out.
Would you agree?
More than likely, depending on what type of cop he is, what neighborhood it's in, you know what I'm saying, how the dudes with dreads look, like what type of clothes they got on and all of that. Because you could categorize them and might think that they a certain type of person if they got dreads and looking like that. But it's like everybody victims of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Obama, he's the president, so he can't go so gun-ho on one side, like he just going all the way side with the blacks, because then that'll cause a bigger problem. But at the end of the day, he did say that we all victim of having some type of, like, you know what I mean, racism in us. It's just, and most of us is not big enough to overwhelm, and we do just a bunch of hatred racist shit. It's like you could just pat it down. But for instance, if you was a cop, Vlad, and it's like you riding and you pull over a car and it's like 4, or you get a call like, yo, I might have some suspicious terrorist activity. And then when you pull over the car that was supposed to be suspicious, when you get there, it's like 4 dudes, they garbed up, got they John wrapped all up, they got they Muslim stuff on, they looking crazy, they making these weird looking faces and all that, and they look like they looking weird. When you go up to them, your automatic reaction is to think like, yo, these niggas might got a bomb, or they might about to go drive their truck into 1 million people, or they might be about to go bust a move. Like, I don't know. Like, I gotta be suspicious with them. And as soon as you like, well, can I get your license registration? If they act like they don't understand English and like they reaching for something that look like it could be a bomb or something, you might shoot one of them niggas and be like, yo, like in your mind, you thinking like the nigga was reaching for a bomb. The nigga wasn't. He was just trying to turn down the radio so he could talk to you because he ain't really understand you that good. You just jumped to a conclusion and shot the nigga because you jumped into a conclusion. It might not be like you all the way racist, but you kind of judging niggas. And at the same time, it is a lot of niggas out here that is wilding, that is strapped up all the time, that is shooting, that is going crazy, that is doing wild shit. So if that's the image that you only get of black people, then you might think wrong of them. Just like if the terrorist image is the only image that you get of Islamic people, then you're going to think wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on, right? Niggas ain't got the right type of information. They ain't being schooled right. And the media ain't letting enough people know how people really are. And that's why people confused and they scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared of certain animals I don't know. I don't even care if it's little. Like if it's like a bug or like a little rodent or something that I never seen before that I'm not familiar with. I don't know what it do or what. I'm scared of it. Cause it's like, can a nigga spit something? Can he jump? Is he poisonous? Is the nigga crazy? Like, I don't know. Like, if I don't know that, that's why I don't want to go on safaris in the jungle and shit. Because I don't know all the shit that's out there. So I might have the wrong impression on the animal the same way they be having wrong impressions on people. But it's like, not saying that is right or wrong. I just kind of partially understand why people be having them conclusions, especially them white people that probably never really hung around black people, don't know nothing about them but the cases that they read over or the cases that they dealing with and the issues that, and then the rumors that get passed around, they probably placing placing judgment on the people before they even know what they dealing with, and that's why people getting shot.
Okay, but here's the problem with your analogy right now. Now, if let's say, okay, you say there's certain animals you don't know and, you know, you don't feel comfortable around them and stuff like that. Now, let's just say you worked at a zoo and after the first week, you done, killed like all types of animals because you just were unsure about how they were like. You would get fired from that zoo. They're like, yo, we can't have you around here because you keep fucking up all the animals. But you have police officers who go and patrol neighborhoods that they're not familiar with, they didn't grow up in, being around the type of people they've never been around, and then you get surprised when these types of fucked up situations happen.
Yeah, that's
as opposed to like, why not hire police officers from these neighborhoods that they grew up in, that they understand who these people are, so you don't get this type of fear of the unknown. Because that's what I feel is the biggest fear there is in human existence, is the fear of the unknown. When you've gone through a bunch of crazy shit, when it happens again, you're okay with it because you understand how things are going to fit together. You've been through it. But you throw these people. If someone grew up in an upper white rich neighborhood surrounded by $1 million homes, and you throw them in the projects, yeah, they're going to freak out. They're not going to know what the fuck all this is about. There's people that have no ill intentions towards them, but they just don't know.
I think they got to just get the cops more information and make them tougher, man. These cops be chumps, you know what I'm saying? So if you're a chump and you get put in a situation and you're scared, that's how you're going to react. You know what I mean? All these cops don't be tough guys, so when they be put in situations, that's how they respond. Like if you get people that's from them neighborhoods, it's going to be ups and downs to that, because if I grew up in this same neighborhood and now you a cop and I knew you from you was little, I'm not even looking at you like a cop because I knew you was a pussy your whole life. Like I was smacking you the fuck up in middle school. Niggas was fucking your sister. I know your mom used to do this and all this. Now you a cop trying to play some tough role. Like fuck out of here. Like that ain't going to work neither. And they main objective is not to keep people free and stop people from dying. Their main objective is for people to die and get locked up. They happy with that because that make them more money. And it cause more confusion. And as long as people confused, that's how they stay in power. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what they want. They want it to go exactly like how it's going. It's just the people got to get frustrated with how it's going, not put up with how it's going, and fight for it to be different. That's the only way it's going to ever be different, or else it's going to stay the same.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully you get better, because right now it's fucked up.
Definitely is. You know what I mean? You got to bring awareness to cats that can make them pay for crime instead of just a smack on the wrist in vacation time. You know what I mean? Everything that you was talking about, I said it in the song. So you got to check that out, man. But I can't rap talking about blowing a nigga head off after you just talked about violence in the hood, and they going to be like, yo, he a bad guy. He the reason why it's like this is rap. Blame rap music. Blame Cass. Nah, it's all good, man. But
All good. What do you think about the whole situation?
Man, my point of view, man, I really feel like they tried to paint a bad picture on my brother and try to make him look like he was a hater. It was some envy, jealousy type shit, you know what I'm saying? And actuality, you know what I'm saying? Bro been having this shit, man. He been in the condo.
I got my hat on and I had my Coke bottles up under my hat. And I'm sitting at the dinner table like an asshole with the hat on, knowing she gonna tell me to take it off. And I'm just sitting there just gawping down, you know, in my zone. She said, take that goddamn hat off at the dinner table. I'm like, come on, mom. Coke everywhere.